What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. I'm not sure if anybody's going to join this because I don't go live super often, but I'm going to give this a shot. I wanted to talk about YouTube comments and all the problems with the YouTube comments. So I'm trying to see if I can monitor this because YouTube is also giving me a hard time when it comes to sharing my screen during a live. So I got booted off live once for handling a firearm, and then I got let back on, and then I got booted off again, and I'm not sure why. There was no explanation the second time. So I hope it doesn't happen again. But let me pull this up and let me see if it's working. And pardon me while I continue to. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. There we go. Cool. All right. So let's go to comments. So if you've watched my videos at all, on a lot of them, I make sure that I say that I don't give a fuck about your subscription. I don't give a fuck about your likes or dislikes, but I do give a fuck about your comments because comments are the only way through this medium that we can really have a conversation. And conversations are what I'm interested in with this platform, trying to further the conversation around the topics, especially the topics that we discuss in our concealed carry classes. And if you've come to one of our classes, or if you're thinking about coming to one of our classes and you have some time to think about or ruminate on the things that we talked about in the class, this is an opportunity for you to come back and review some of that information and discuss it. Or maybe you've never heard of us and you just found our channel through whatever means, and there are things for us to talk about. There's things for us to consider when it comes to self-defense, when it comes to the law, when it comes to concealed carry as a practice, and all of that stuff. So comments are really important to me, very important to the channel. There's some problems though, and I'm going to try to share my screen to talk about some of those problems. Let's see what happens here. Share. So I'm monitoring this on my phone, and see it keeps coming up black, all black when I share my screen. So I'm going to give this a second, see if it actually starts working again. If it doesn't start working, I'm going to try to do this even if I can't share my screen. What's up, Tad? Good to see you there. Yeah, I feel like this is not going to work, and I'm not sure why. Tad, if you're paying attention, can you let me know if you can see my screen? Because I'm not sure that my phone is a good representation or my computer is working properly. So I run, oh, see, it looks like it's working. Black. Okay. Oh, how about now? How about now? Because it looks like it's working now on my phone. Okay. Give it a second. All right. It's tiny though. Let's see if we can make it bigger. All right, Tad, now it's on. All right, cool. So here, let's talk about a few problems. Um, First of all, I do monitor all the comments on the channel. I monitor them. I check them on my phone. I check them in the studio part of YouTube. I check them on the notifications when they pop into the notifications. But the problem is YouTube's presentation of these comments is not consistent, and sometimes comments will look like they're there, but then you try to view them and you can't see them, or they were there and then they disappear, and that makes it hard to have that conversation. And so just recognize, if you comment on my channel and I don't respond to you, it's possible that the comment itself is just not working, and people will complain and they'll say, oh, your YouTube keeps deleting my comments, but then I can find your comment eventually. The one that you thought was deleted will end up being there sometimes. Sometimes it won't. So whatever is going on in the background, YouTube needs to get their shit together with how they present these comments. Here's another issue. The way they present these comments as far as in the studio, is really based on the last comment that was a top level comment, not a reply. So this comment was made 3 hours ago, and I responded 2 hours ago, but if we come down, there should be an example somewhere around here where the top level comment might be a few days old, and then the reply might only be a few hours old, but it's the top level. Here we go. So this comment was made 2 days ago, but then I replied 1 hour ago, and if anybody replies in this thread, it's not gonna be easy for me to find. So it's hard to have a conversation. So if we were in the middle of chatting or talking, or if you feel like I'm not replying quickly, it's probably because it's just not easy to parse through all this stuff to find responses to comments. So so that's another problem. And I think that was mostly the problems as far as the presentation from YouTube on this. All right, let's talk about another problem. This is not a YouTube problem. This is a you problem, not a YouTube problem, a you problem. The you problem is when you give me comments that don't make any sense because you don't know how to proofread or string together a complete or coherent thought. So, this guy, Colin Byerly, replied to my video carrying in your vehicle, have gun will travel, exclamation mark, a TV movie series about the absolute ability to protect oneself and travel. However, no period. However, today travel through zombie cities that are being allowed to grow and save on jail cost and save space so jails do not have to be maintained, even though the higher costs of everything being in more taxes than ever before. What the fuck does that mean? Can you, like, I don't get it. I don't understand what this means. You took the time to write all this out, but it doesn't make any sense. So proofread your comments. I mean, if you're commenting because you actually want to engage and have a conversation, and I think this guy does because he ended up leaving another comment immediately after with a question about something I meant or did or didn't say in the video. And so if your comment does not make any sense, I can't really give you a reasonable response to it. I can't just be like, and I'm not gonna be the guy that just says thanks for commenting. That's a waste of my time. I do appreciate it, but I'm not gonna say well, I should say I appreciate a comment that is useful. I don't really care if you're commenting just to comment. That doesn't further the conversation. So um and somebody recently, a friend of the channel, he was like, I just commenting for the algorithm. I don't care about the algorithm. I want to have conversations that are relevant to the topics that we're having. So uh, make sure if you want interaction, if you took the time to comment so that we can have an interaction, just proofread it. So it just makes even a little bit of sense so that I can have some kind of response to it. So um, another problem that happens. I'm just complaining. Complain. Yeah. Let me pause the complaining to say I've gotten some excellent comments and some really good conversations that have come out of these comments, and I really appreciate them. And it helps me, and I think it helps you, and hopefully it helps the people that are reading them. So I really do appreciate them. All right, let's go back to complaining. This comment right here. This video that I did was on Colorado gun laws, and it was on explaining carrying in your vehicle. And there's like 150 comments on this video or something like that. And probably half of them are something like this. I am a free American, and as such, I avoid Colorado like North Korea. All right. I don't care. That's not a useful comment. You're a free American. Do you pay for card registration? Do you pay your taxes? Do you like, what do you mean free American? Colorado has some shitty gun laws. There are states that have worse gun laws and there are states that have better gun laws. But there's gun laws in every single state. There are restrictions on your right to own a firearm in every single state. So I don't know what this comment is supposed to mean. A waste of time. I guess if you comment something like this, it makes you feel better about yourself, makes you feel like you're superior or something like that. I don't understand what the purpose of this comment is. Um, there's another one. As a Coloradan, I don't follow unconstitutional laws. They can kiss my American ass. I guarantee you that you do follow unconstitutional laws in this state. That is the nature of laws. So yeah, this isn't helpful. And again, it makes you feel better for saying it, but whatever. Now, if you want to have a conversation around the decision to disregard certain laws because they do not um, follow your understanding of what is safe, responsible use of firearms, I would love to have that conversation with you. If you're having a conversation about the balance of risk and benefit of ignoring certain laws because you think it's necessary to protect yourself in a place or a context where typically that tool or weapon wouldn't be allowed, absolutely. I definitely want to have that conversation with you. But if you want to beat your chest and tell everybody how awesome you are because you don't care about the laws, I don't, that doesn't further the conversation in any way. So, um, oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading Tad's comment, and I just read the part where it says black, and I'm like, "When you're black? Oh wait, no, you're not black. The screen was black. Okay, so that's why I shouldn't shift my focus. All right. So this comment right here, I'm confused on one part. You said you can keep a loaded firearm in your vehicle, but it cannot be concealed. This is the kind of comments that are important because if there's a misunderstanding about something I said in the video, I need to know. And this was pretty specific about something that he thought that I said or that I miscommunicated, and asking a question, and then asking a follow up question. Also, do I understand that it now has to be in a locked box if you leave it or store it in the vehicle? So, very good comment, very good question. Maybe it was my fault, maybe it was your fault, but we won't know until we do get a chance to go back and forth. If YouTube allows both of us to continue that conversation without hiding our comments from each other. Um, all right, this is another one that keeps coming up. I'm running out of ways to respond to this kind of comment. The stupidity of our Colorado legislators and our governor is astounding, but I guess it also states the same about the alleged majority of voters who continue to vote these Democrats into office. Of course, the Democrats run a moderate candidate, blah, 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 blah. This is just partisan politics. I don't really have a lot of time for partisan politics, and I really don't have a lot of time for people who blame their legislators for their problems. As Edgar likes to say, all of your problems have one common denominator: you. And that includes gun laws. We have a responsibility as gun owners to stand up for our rights and to sacrifice things that are important to us in order to preserve our rights. And as long as we keep avoiding that truth and blaming legislators for our problems, blaming voters for our problems, rather than turning around and saying, what can we do as citizens to save or protect our rights? Nothing's going to change. Nothing good is going to happen as long as we keep putting the responsibility on somebody else when it's our rights. You say this is your right. Why aren't you defending it? Why are you outsourcing your responsibility to a bunch of people in the legislature who hate you? I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans. The people in your legislature do not care about you. They care about themselves. You should care about yourself, and you should get involved, and you should take responsibility for your self-defense or for your gun rights. So here's another great comment. I self-sorted out of Colorado in 2023 due to the unfreedom that prevails due to the Metro Democrats who rule Colorado with their BS unconstitutional edicts. So this guy ran away rather than standing up for his rights. So whenever this problem comes to his new location, he's going to run away again instead of standing up and taking responsibility for his rights. Again, I don't have anything to say to that. Um, It doesn't further the conversation really. I try to respond to a lot of these, but I get tired of saying the same thing over and over again. So really the point. Oh, here's a good one. I did a video on this Apache case from Harbor Freight for carrying handguns to the range, and this guy says, blah 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 blah. I have a very good range bag, and I'm looking for a hard case. I wish the foam was better than in the Apache. Like this is a gear question. And that's that's a good comment. That's something we can talk about as far as how good this piece of equipment is. So I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. Let's talk about this comment. This one, this one stood out. This guy VTPSTTU, uh, just a wall of text. I mean, just look at this. This and that wasn't the older one. There's part 2. Look at this. Part 2. How am I supposed to respond to this? Like, bro, I don't have this kind of time. Um, and then his third response after I did give him a reply, 2 more paragraphs. Okay, I appreciate the effort, man. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the thought, but I can't really interact meaningfully with with this. This is like a book. This is a YouTube comment book. Um, so, I mean, he made some good points in here, uh, but I I don't have time to respond to these points. This is just a lot. So now we did go back and forth a few times, and I tried to keep it short to keep it focused, etc. So it was valuable, but um, god damn, that that was some serious commenting. Thanks for dropping in, Tad. And Brian's here. Brian, I'm not sure Brian who, but greetings, Brian. Yeah, so I think that if I don't know if people are going to watch this and understand what I'm trying to say, but comments are important. So don't waste them. Don't be wasteful with them. Don't be wasteful with your time. Don't be wasteful with my time. Don't say stupid shit just because you think it makes you feel better. Let's have the conversations that are important. Let's take advantage of the medium for something valuable rather than for you to just air out your bullshit. So the comment, like I do pay attention and I monitor these comments and I really do try to respond to all the comments, at least the ones that I feel are worth responding to. Um, and so if I reply back to you, that means I took the time to find your comment, think about an answer, put it on the screen, and send it back to you. So I do care, and I put a lot of thought into how I answer these questions, and also your comments may in fact improve the channel. So I did this video on carrying in your vehicle, and one of the comments I got back from it was like, "Hey, I really appreciate the video, but it was 11 minutes long. Why don't you do a short version of the video and then do a long version?" And that was a great idea. And that's what I started doing with some of these other law videos. The open carry video, I've got the short version, I've got the long version. The short version's like 7 or 8 minutes, long version 15, 16 minutes or something like that. So that was a great suggestion. I really appreciate that. And I implemented that recommendation. So this is an opportunity for us to improve our own understanding, improve the information available out there for the viewers, um, for the internet, for the collective wisdom or lack of wisdom of the internet. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I don't, like I said, I'm not sure how many people are actually going to watch this because I'm not consistent with the live streams. This is not going to get a lot of play, but I would like to be more consistent. It's really just a schedule thing that makes it difficult. So, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I look forward to doing this again soon. And if you haven't checked it out, go to gunsforeveryone.com or gfenational.com to check out the work that we do in the state of Colorado. All right. This is Isaac Chase for Guns for Everyone. Peace.